A patch antenna or a microstrip antenna is, in the most simple implementation, just a single rectangular or circular conductive plate that is spaced above a ground plane. So you can easily see how these would be fabricated using printed circuit boards. Patch antennas are very attractive due to their low profile and the fact that they're extremely easy to fabricate using printed circuit board techniques. The radiation pattern of a single patch is going to be characterized by a single main lobe of moderate beam width. So you can see the 3D radiation pattern really just looks like a big balloon being blown up out of the surface of the microstrip or patch antenna. Frequently, the beam widths in the azimuth and the elevation planes are going to be similar, resulting in a fairly circular beam, although that really depends on the geometry of the patch itself. The beam widths, by changing the dimensions of the patch, can be manipulated to produce an antenna with lower or higher gain, depending on whatever the requirement is. And an antenna built with one patch is going to have a maximum gain of about 9 dBi. So the patch antenna that I'm showing here shows how simple a patch antenna can really be. I've just got some sort of rectangular patch that's built over a rectangular ground plane, and this radiation pattern that I'm presenting here represents a pretty typical patch antenna characteristic. We can see that there's a single main lobe with a fairly wide beam width, with shallow nulls pointing up and down from the antenna. Other than that, there aren't many features to the pattern. The one shown in this figure was designed to have high gain rather than symmetrical gain patterns in the two planes. So this was just designed to have really maximum gain. And the gain of this one is about 8.8 dBi with the azimuth plane beam width of about 70 degrees as we're showing. And these are not uncommon beam widths. So the azimuth and elevation plane patterns, like always, are derived simply by slicing through the 3D radiation pattern. In this case, the azimuth plane pattern is obtained by slicing through the XZ plane. Through the XZ plane here. And the elevation plane pattern is formed by slicing through the YZ plane. Note that there's one main lobe that is radiated out from the front of the antenna, and there are three back lobes in the elevation plane, the strongest of which happens to be kind of minus 180 degrees behind the peak of the main lobe, which establishes a front to back ratio of about 14 dB for this antenna. So that is the gain of the antenna. 180 degrees behind the peak is 14 dB lower than the peak gain. And again, it doesn't matter if these patterns are shown pointing up, down, to the left, or to the right. That's usually an artifact of the measurement system. A patch antenna is going to radiate its energy out from the front of the antenna, and that's the direction of this patch antenna, just out from the front.